Sup, boys? So today I kind of want to, I guess, just kind of talk to you guys just from the heart. You'll notice I don't have a webcam. I had to tear it down for another project that I was doing with a bunch of my friends, and I'm just too lazy to put it back up right now. So, this is just gonna kind of be just like a heart-to-heart conversation with you guys. I guess my biggest thing is I've just been feeling extremely burnout and just extremely unmotivated to play Genshin. And for whatever reason, I guess, I actually am considering taking an extended break from the game. And this is kind of like a compounding thing. I've actually been kind of burnt out on this game for probably the better part of a couple of months. I can't remember the exact time frame when I first got kind of burnt out. I think it was right before Kazuha came out, or it may have been, or maybe it was when Klee got her rerun, because that's why I didn't make a video on her. I don't know. Either way, I actually had like recorded several videos back whenever this first started happening, and I basically recorded all these videos. Oh no, it was right after Inazuma premiered, because I had already like pre-recorded a bunch of Inazuma story stuff, and during those releases, while those videos were coming out, because I had just scheduled them like a week ahead, I basically took like a week off where all I did was kind of behind the scenes, not really like posting content or anything. I just kind of casually played Genshin, and like as you guys can see, like I'm sitting at 160 resin, and this has been kind of a constant thing for the last couple of weeks, almost a month now, where I've just been so unmotivated to play, and there's just been like a lot of little nitpicky things that have just really came to a head at this point that are kind of preventing me from enjoying this game. And my biggest thing, which we'll get into the nitpicky stuff in a minute, but my biggest thing that I like have trouble with is honestly a lot of the community in this game. And I know that's gonna just completely tank my my respect from the community, but honestly, it's just me being honest. The fact that like the community gets so butthurt whenever I mispronounce someone's name, that just like destroys, like it just gets on my nerves. Like I just hate it. Like it's just so stupid to get on to somebody because one, the game isn't like natively in English. It's all translated into English. And two, the characters are made from a non-native company, everything. So the fact that the characters' names or the location names or whatever, the fact that like all that stuff is non-native and I have to try to pronounce it in a native way, it's just really annoying. And that's like, honestly, that's kind of nitpicky, because at the end of the day, who fucking cares, you know? But either way, that really like that is just super annoying, and I hate it. But more importantly, I feel like the game just it's running out of steam for me. I don't have anything to do. I hate, at this point, farming for artifacts. I have decent enough artifacts to complete whatever I need to complete. Like, I don't actually need to spend resin on artifacts anymore, I don't think. I mean, obviously when new sets are released and stuff like that, it, makes sense to go in on that kind of stuff. But like, you know, I spent probably like, I don't know, like 1,000 resin maybe, getting this full set here. I got, you know, a pretty decent feather. I got a really crappy, a really crappy sands. I got a on-set, you know, goblet, which was really cool for Yoimiya, and it turned out to be pretty decent. I was just going for crit damage, obviously. And then, you know, a pretty decent circlet. So, like, I spent, you know, like 1,000 resin or whatever it was getting this stuff, and cool, like, great. But after that, like, I didn't need anymore. I don't need to spend any resin right now. And, like, I go through and I do my bosses, you know, like every Monday or whatever. I get the fragmented, whatever it is, the fragmented resin from the teapot. I get that stuff, and usually that goes towards my my bosses, and I don't really have to like worry about that kind of stuff. But like outside of that, I just don't like, I don't have anything to do. I hate the Abyss. That's probably another big thing, is I absolutely hate the Abyss. I despise playing it. It literally angers me when I play it. And I don't want to do that. Like, if it's gonna like upset me to play something, like, obviously why would I play it, you know? But I don't know. I just feel like there's nothing for me to do anymore. And I know, like, the updates are coming out and stuff like that, and like whatever, but honestly, it's just boring. I'm bored. I'm not, like, I built Yoimiya. I have not made a video on her. I haven't made a build guide on her because there's a couple of IRL things that have gone kind of crazy in the last little bit that prevented me from actually spending time making a video on her. But I hate it. I hated getting the materials to build Ayaka. It was so stupid not to be able to pre-farm for her, and I know that's just like the nature of the game whenever a new region comes out and she's from that region, yada yada yada. Yoimiya is the exact same thing. I guess I could have pre-farmed for Seiyu a little bit better. I could have pre-farmed a lot more of these during the 1.6 event, which is, you know, whatever, but I've been doing this for the last couple of days pretty casually, and I hate it. I hate it. I hate having to farm for materials. I used to, like, if you look at my map, I actually have, please cooperate. Up here, I have all of my stuff marked where I actually have like routes and stuff that I do. So I usually start at Cecilia Garden, and I'll just kind of grab all of this food here, all these ingredients up in Storm Terrace Lair over here, and then I'll work my way down and then come all the way down through here and grab all these artifacts and whatnot. I was doing that for like a good month or so, and I just grew to hate it. Like, I actually despise farming for food, for character materials. I haven't done the Abyss in probably like 2 rotations, I don't think. I'm guarantee I probably won't even do it this time. It's annoying, and I kind of feel like that's all I can do in Genshin. Did this complete? I thought that usually disappeared. Uh-oh. Oh well. But like, I feel like that's kind of what Genshin has to offer right now, is do your weekly bosses, spend your resin, and farm. And like, that's just not, it's just not fun anymore. Like, just being completely honest with you, I'm just not having fun doing the things that Genshin offers me right now. So I guess to sort of explain a little bit of like the IRL stuff that's been going on, just in case anyone's curious. If you don't care, then you probably click off the video at this point. I've actually been playing in a heavily homebrewed D&D campaign. I took the role as the DM in a D&D campaign, and I've been basically writing an entire story, and we've been getting together roughly like once a month and we play for like 12 hours at a time. And ever since I started doing that, a lot of effort, time, and resources have gone into playing D&D. So that's kind of been like another project that I've been doing outside of Genshin, which I started playing D&D with my friends in like January or February of this year. So it's obviously not been like too big of a concern, but the more that Genshin has started getting on my nerves, the more I've been putting effort and resources into D&D than I have into Genshin. Because beforehand it was like obviously like Genshin, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit. You guys know that, you know, YouTubers make money, and this was, you know, Genshin was making me not heaps and bounds of money, but it was definitely making me money, and I needed to keep doing videos to obviously keep making money. So that's what I was doing. I was obviously focusing on what was bringing income in. D&D doesn't obviously bring any income. I don't make any videos on it, yada yada yada. But while Genshin started to wane in its ability to be fun, obviously I grew to dislike it more and more, and because of that I started to let it take a back seat. So here lately I've actually been highly considering making videos on D&D, because obviously right now it's one of the things that is actually really fun, and I've been, you know, having tons of fun with it. But you know, that's just neither here nor there at this point. Anyways, on top of D&D taking in a ton of time and stuff like that, I actually sold a car that I owned. And when I sold that car, basically the car, I obviously being like a small YouTuber, I don't like go anywhere very often. I basically sit at home and think about videos and make videos and read comments and get depressed because people say mean things in the comments about how I don't pronounce names correctly. But because I don't drive very often, my wife and I were paying for a vehicle that I very seldomly drove. So therefore we decided that it would be obviously more financially responsible to sell the vehicle and buy something a lot less expensive. So I know that most of you guys have probably seen the shirt, but I do have a Volkswagen shirt, and that's kind of like I guess foreshadowing that I'm a pretty big Volkswagen fan. The first car that I ever bought with my own money was a Volkswagen, and therefore I just always have been into Volkswagens. So I sold a 2017 Jetta to basically, I sold it back to the dealership because I originally leased it, refinanced it. The payments weren't super horrible, but basically I sold it and they gave me more than the loan was, they gave me more than the loan still had on it. So I technically profited off of the car. Probably not in the grand scheme of things, but at least at that moment in time, I got paid more than what was remaining due on it. So we basically took the overage that we made a profit on, and I ended up basically driving. So I live in basically the center of North Carolina, and I drove up to the bottom part of Maryland to purchase another Volkswagen. But if you're in the realm of Volkswagens, I purchased a Mark I Volkswagen Rabbit pickup, and this thing is not like insanely rare, but they're pretty collectible. They don't usually go for sale very often unless it's got like a lot of problems with it. And this one, of course, had its fair share of problems. The guy wanted he wanted a lot of money for it, and this doesn't seem physically accurate. I actually got it for almost half of what he was asking for. which was a pretty good deal in my opinion. And it's something I've been wanting a rabbit pickup for years, and it just so happened that it was kind of like perfect timing, right place, right time kind of thing. I did drive to see, this was the second one that I looked at, but this was the one that I settled on, and I highly enjoy it. So the problem is that of course it does come with its own set of problems, and I basically spent the better part of a week getting it basically up to par with not being a death trap and not breaking down on me while I drive it. It is a 1981, so this car, or truck rather, is 40 years old. This year, I think it was manufactured in February of 81, so it is over 40 years old at this point. And it's pretty awesome. I'm in love with it. I love driving it. It obviously means a lot to me that my wife and I landed on that, and she was cool with it, because obviously it's a lot of like headache buying a used car and driving something that's 40 years old. But we have a super reliable car. She owns a super reliable Prius, and now I drive this truck, like I go around town and just do like little things. I don't actually drive it very far. And on the weekends, like I don't really even drive it. I drive 30 minutes away to go eat with my dad. There is another Sakura bloom up here. I didn't even know that. I did not know there was one in this tree. Are there more in other trees? Or is it just that tree? Because I'm going to feel like really stupid, because I took way longer than I should have if that's the case. I don't see one in that tree. Anyways, so it's just, I don't know. The fact that I got the truck, I had to make that like my number one priority, just in case I needed like it for an emergency and my wife wasn't here. We're basically on like a third shift schedule. She works third shift. She leaves the house around 11, and she doesn't get back most days until almost like 12:30 p.m. because she works a lot of overtime. Hence why, I have to keep myself busy with something. She's not here a lot, but while she's at work, I basically, I don't have a reliable vehicle. I did, but when I sold the Jetta, this was kind of what I got myself into. So I needed to make it a priority in case any emergencies came up. I would have a vehicle to handle the emergency. Kind of foreshadowing into an emergency that we kind of had. I have 2 dogs and a cat. I took one dog. It's the last animal that we have that hasn't gotten fixed or spayed, neutered kind of thing. She was the last freaking animal that we had that needed to be fixed, and I took her to the vet last Tuesday. So as of this recording, it's been over a week now. But I took her, and they ended up doing the surgery on her, and she's had problems ever since she was a puppy. Like, she's just been a really unfortunate situation. She's been in a really bad situation, but she had her spay done, and lo and behold, there were, of course, more complications. And kind of in an emergency situation, I had to take her back to the vet during the 2.1 live stream, and it was just kind of one of those situations where she wasn't like in any immediate danger, but she was definitely in a lot of pain, and we wanted to make sure that she wasn't in pain. Basically, she gave herself a hematoma. So that was cool. But anyways, so there's just kind of that myriad of IRL problems going on, things that I felt like were more important to my life than Genshin was. Even though Genshin is, an income for me, it was more important to take a step back and handle the IRL things, because at the end of the day, Genshin doesn't bring in as much money as anyone would really expect. I mean, I have like 34,000 subs, but at the end of the day, if videos are only getting, 500 views, then it does not equate to a lot of money. Anyways, so yeah, the IRL stuff was definitely a huge damper on my ability to play, and the fact that I had already felt kind of burnout and just unmotivated to play to begin with made it really easy to just be like, screw Genshin, you know? Like, I don't know. It was just kind of like wrong place, wrong time for Genshin to really take priority. So from there, like, I don't even know what to use my resin for right now. I really don't. I guess I could keep farming for... What's the other new set? Because I don't feel like I need this one. What's the other one? This one. I don't have very many good ones. I did get a set, but yeah, see, I still need that. So I guess I can go farm for that really quick. So I guess now on to a little bit more of like the nitpicky things. I've been really having a hard time with actually playing Genshin. Just like little things that shouldn't annoy me, but they annoy me because I'm already annoyed with Genshin. Like, I despise how whenever I'm trying to use a skill, even though I'm like pressing E or using the skill, it just for whatever reason does not use it, and I have to physically like stop whatever I'm doing to like make it happen. And I know that's like insanely nitpicky, but it's annoying. At the end of the day, it's just annoying. And it's something else that, like, even though it's super nitpicky, it's something that I just cannot get past. It just physically hurts me to play this game sometimes. And like, I get so annoyed with it. This team is really slow at this. But, oh, another thing is climbing on constructs is... See, these things are so nitpicky, and on their own, they're not bad. They're not something that should make you quit playing a game. But the fact that they're coupled with things that I just despise, and the fact that I'm already annoyed with the game, it just makes it even worse. I'm gonna switch something. Honestly, I can't even think of any more nitpicky things right now. Honestly, I took to my Discord and I basically told people like, hey, this is what's going on, because I don't want you guys to... I don't want the people that actually like care enough to be in my Discord to feel like, you know, I want to have an open line of communication, even though it's really freaking hard for me. I've always been a closed off type of person, for better or worse. I always have been.
Pleasure to be working.
I don't mean to be, but it's just something that I have a hard time, even with my wife. I have a hard time communicating feelings. It's just something that I just always have had an issue with. So someone in Discord asked, have I made any videos lately, or is YouTube just being YouTube? And I basically said like, hey, I haven't made anything in a couple of weeks. Honestly, I've just been battling this burnout, motivational woes, and time constraints with my IRL stuff. Basically what I've gone over so far in this video. And then I detailed a little bit about what's been going on, but I asked the community in my Discord basically what would be their... What do they enjoy watching the most? Because at the end of the day, like, I can say that I make videos for myself, but if I'm being truly honest, like, I make videos because I like to see people enjoy my videos. Like, I hate making something that no one enjoys, and that burns me out more than anything. And like the fact that, like I was talking about how I hate the fact that the community jumps on me so hard for mispronouncing things, or like I understand there's going to be disagreements whenever it comes to like guides and stuff. That's 100% fine. Like almost every single guide that I make is backed by mathematics, and you can like disagree with it however you want, but like at the end of the day, numbers won't lie. And in practice, yeah, things might be slightly different for you because obviously you have different artifacts and the math is assuming a lot of numbers, and when it comes to assuming, of course, you know, that makes an ass out of you and me. But like, you can disagree with my guides. That doesn't bother me in the slightest. What bothers me though is like if I make something that is like super near and dear to me, like if I made something that I put a lot of time and effort into and people just don't care, or if they just don't watch it, like that's the type of stuff that I really get bummed out about. And I can't control like everybody, you know, enjoying everything that I make. I understand that too, but it's just it's just the fact that when I do make something that is like super personal to me, if it doesn't get received very well, then that's like super disappointing. Like I'm gonna pull up my channel really fast. Okay, so let's switch to Chrome. Okay, so obviously poll videos never do really good. They just never do. It is what it is. It's fine. Lore video or like story, Archon quests, whatever, they hardly ever do really good. I know in Discord a lot of people said that they enjoy them, and that's great actually, but it's whatever. They usually never like actually do really well. And like as I was talking about earlier, Genshin makes an income, but when somebody, you know, watched a video, or when a video gets 290 views, it doesn't generate like enough money to even like take into consideration the amount of time, effort, and all that stuff that just goes into the editing alone. The editing, the thumbnail, and stuff like that. It's not worth the time. I could be spending my time doing something way more productive, and that's honestly a huge battle that I have, because I enjoy making videos. Like I enjoy taking footage and like making a story out of it or whatever. Like I enjoy video editing in general. I enjoy making thumbnails, but it's really hard to warrant this being worth time. And you guys can say whatever you want to say about like, oh, well, you're just in it for the money. At the end of the day, I have to have money. Like it is a thing. And this has been a big source of income for a long time. And, you know, as you can see, certain videos hit really good, but certain ones do not. Anyway, so like I did these whole this series of videos on the new weapons, and a lot of this stuff again was highly opinionated, and I never wanted to like make the video specifically about should this weapon work on X character, because the weapons hadn't released when I was making these videos. And as you can see, this hurts. A lot of people, I don't know, like that's another thing I hate, that YouTube, like obviously people can leave comments or whatever, but most of the comments most of the comments are pretty either constructive or they're like, hey, that's good. So like this guy even backs up my claim, where like it's not that big of a difference between Rust and Hamayumi, and that's what I basically said in the video. So people are like, you know, either agreeing with me or giving like pretty good constructive criticism. But I still get like a ton of dislikes on a video for like no reason or for whatever reason, and I don't know how to adjust my content to please more people than this one obviously did. So maybe they were looking for how to craft it, maybe they were looking for the bow. When I made this video, obviously we didn't know that it was in that conch location or whatever that is. I still haven't got the blueprint for it. Like I said, I haven't cared. I just don't care. But like, just what was the I made that video about... Oh yeah, this was a big bummer too, where I cosplayed as Paimon. That was something that I thought people would enjoy, but no one really watched it. This one was really cool, where I like made a video. It's just a short video about like being stupid and like how repetitive Genshin can be, and people apparently really did not like it. And I was like, it was a joke from the get-go, and it wasn't well received, and that bothered me more than anything. But anyways, that's like also super nitpicky, but that's more of a YouTube issue, not a Genshin issue. So I think what I ultimately want to do at this point is I want to just play Genshin super casually. Obviously, I haven't been trying to make videos. I don't think that I don't think that I want to try and push myself to make something just because it's the new thing or it's the like the most recent thing or whatever. I think if I'm not having fun with it, it shows more than anything, and I don't want to make stuff if it's not fun, you know? But I think what I want to do is just ultimately take a pretty extended break. I just want to like sit back, play Genshin super casually. I have enough primos to like throw at Ball, because whatever her name is, excuse me if I mispronounce it. I could probably, you know, do a little bit. Like I don't have a ton, but I have enough to like kind of get there. Probably not enough to actually like guarantee pity, because I usually stop as soon as I hit pity, because at the end of the day, I try to spend the least amount of money on this game as possible. Most of the money that I make off of YouTube, by the way, also goes directly back into Genshin, so it kind of like was just going to eventually run dry. But I don't know. Because nobody watches pull videos, it's not even really worth spending money on pulling the character. But you have to have the character to make the videos that people want to watch, like the character guides and stuff. So like, what do you do? You know, it's a perpetual machine that I don't think I want to be in anymore. Like, being, like I talked about with the truck, being a huge Volkswagen fan, like I think I would much rather spend money on modifying and like making my truck a better truck, or building a truck to look cool or whatever. Like I think that would be more worth my time at this point. Which is sad. I hate to say that. I really do. But it makes very little sense to continue playing this game at this point. Another thing that is really, I guess, a bummer, is the fact that, like, well, two things really. The first is the events in this game. Most of them are really fun. Most of them are really cool. I have not touched Theater Mechanicus, and it ends in 4 hours. I haven't even done the quest for it. This was my favorite part of its first time around. Whatever, 1.3 I think it was, whenever this first came out. This was my absolute favorite part of that entire update. This was so much fun. Everyone that I've seen on Reddit and stuff talk about how it changed a lot, and they tried to do too much with it. I personally hated the way that it sounded. But again, like, just the timing that this event came back when all that other stuff was going on IRL, I haven't touched it. But this also haven't touched. This haven't cared. I accidentally started this, which kind of demotivated me to make the video on it, because I didn't mean to start it, but I missed like the first section of it or whatever. Which that's story anyways. But the events are really cool. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. After the battle pass, I literally have like, there is a huge drop in motivation for me, because this is like one of the best ways for me to get resources to build characters and stuff. Like having all these wits is amazing. Having all this Mora is amazing. Getting all this fragile resin is amazing. But the fact that I do this within like the first 2 weeks of an entire version, it kills it for the next 4 weeks of that version. It makes no sense why I can't make more levels of this MiHoYo. It needs to have more levels. Because if it's just for like a couple of weeks that I can do this, then I'm highly demotivated afterwards. It makes no sense why there's not more levels of that. I know that you don't want to overload people with resources, and that you want people to play the long game, and you want people to like keep coming back to this game. I understand that. I made a video a long time ago about how this game is it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. You know, this is one of those games where it's not meant to be played for 8 hours a day. But when it comes to making content on this game, a game needs to have content that someone can play for 8 hours a day so that they can make content on it, right? And that battle pass is one of the things that keeps me playing every day while it's active, because I want to get those weekly missions done. I want to get the whatever the battle pass exclusive ones are. What are they called? I done forgot. This battle pass period. These, like, I need to get these done. In my head, I have to get these done, because look how much BEP it gives you. It's stupid. It's stupid amounts, and I gotta get it. Like all these things, like I need to get these things done when it's live, or when it's, you know, obtainable at least, because this is like the best income in terms of resources. This is the best way to gather resources, in my opinion. And the fact that I can only do that for less than half of the version that it's active for is dumb, right? The other thing is that the versions are really cool, but I'm getting burnt out on the fact that I already see a bunch of power creep. I also hate the fact that people are dogging on Yoimiya, because honestly, like, she's not bad. And if people are complaining about her, I honestly don't know. That's another thing. Let me just make this very clear. I don't watch any Genshin content. Like, I just make my own content, right? I quickly realized a long time ago, and this was when I was playing a totally different game, that if I watch content from others on the same game that I make content for, it either dilutes my content to be the same exact thing as theirs, which I hate. I don't want my content to just match someone else's, or it changes my opinions before I ever like formulate my own opinion, and it makes like this huge bias, and I don't want that kind of stuff. I try to have everything that I do be as like original to my own opinion as possible, and I know that's insanely hard, and it's not always going to work out perfectly, but that's I just don't. The only content creator that I ever really watched was Jinx and Tuner, and you know, Jinx has, you know, his own thing going on, and ever since he's had his thing, I've stopped. Like, that's the only stream of content that I ever watched, and that's just because I like felt like I had a lot of the same interests that Jinx did. He wanted to figure out, you know, frame data, and I felt like I actually learned something when I watched his content, whereas like other people's content was just like, either it was meant to just be like comedy or just like let's plays or whatever. Like I felt like Genshin, or I felt like Jinx and Tuner like actually brought something informative to the Genshin community, and that was what I liked about him. And for better or for worse, that's honestly what I wanted to be, is someone that like helped the community in some way. But you know, I don't feel like I did that at all. I mean, some of you guys probably got like some good information from my videos, but ultimately I don't feel like I'm making as much of a difference as I want to, and that also demotivates me. But you know, whatever. So the fact that I don't watch any Genshin content, I have no idea like what people's opinions are on a character before I ever like start doing my own research for them. And most of my research, like I've stated, is 100% like math based. Like I don't really ever like of course I try to put things into practice as best as I can, but because I'm not like super uber mega whale, I don't have like thousands of dollars in weapon. God, fuck, I hate that. Because I don't have like thousands of dollars in weapons, and I don't have like rank 5 of this and that, it makes it really hard for me to put a lot of that stuff into practice. So I can't like actually put a lot of actual like in practice stuff. Like we take a look at like my swords. All right, I don't have a 5-star sword. The best thing that I have is a bunch of, you know, rank. Well, I just have a bunch of like level 90s and level 80s, I guess. Not super impressive. The only 5-star polearm that I have is Staff of Homa, and that is like, I guess that's cool. Like if I want to do testing, I can show you guys like, hey, look, you know, Staff of Homa works really good, but obviously it works pretty good. It's a 5-star weapon. All of my 5-star freaking weapons have gone to the stupid Scoured Pride, which it just is what it is. You know, I ended up getting a 3rd one at one point, and like decided to, you know, just refine this one. But I just have like a bunch of 4-stars outside of that. In terms of bows, I don't have a 5-star bow. In terms of catalyst, I don't have a 5-star catalyst. Like I don't have the actual resources to put in practice methods into a video. I don't have the financial means to do that either. I don't make enough money off of Genshin to put the money back into Genshin to get myself those weapons. Therefore, I can't do practical videos. I can't show you like what, you know, Scoured Atlas or, you know, Scoured Blade or whatever. Like I can't show you what those look like on a character because I don't have them. Therefore, my content needs to be theory based in a way, which is also a really big damper because like, man, you know how much cooler it would be if I just had the weapons that I could show you rather than just kind of, I guess, haphazardly like talk about them as if I like knew what they actually felt like to use. I just feel like that's cheap and it's unfair. It's unfair to you guys, not me. Because like I can believe the math. The math would make sense, but at the end of the day, if we're also just talking in theory, like theory only gets you so far, you know? But either way, I've been rambling for almost 45 minutes. I'm not going to cut this video up. I'm not going to edit it in any way. I'm just going to give it to you straight. All right. I think at this point, I'm going to take a back seat on Genshin. I'm still going to play it. I don't know necessarily that I'll play every day. I guarantee that I'm not going to be spending resin a lot because I don't feel like I need to, like I said, and it's just not fun. It's not fun to me anymore to sit down and try to min-max an artifact. Like this artifact right here is terrible. I understand that. But at the end of the day, it serves its purpose and it's perfectly fine. I am perfectly fine with it not having crit rate, crit damage, not having a flat attack, not having energy. Well, it has energy recharge, but having 3 bad substats is, I am perfectly okay with that. It gets the job done. It gives me the 4-piece bonus. It is what it is. You know, I'm perfectly okay with having subpar artifacts for a lot of things. But I don't feel like I'm motivated to play anymore. Yeah, I didn't get an energy recharge 5-star either. So, you know, however much resin that was 40, so that's 200, and then another 160. So 360, you know, resin for nothing. You see how fun this was, guys? I can't believe we did this. But either way, I do think I'm going to take a small break. I'm not going to make too many videos unless something insanely interesting happens that I want to talk about. I don't know. I'll throw some gems at Bahal, whatever her name is. I don't even know when she comes out. I don't even know if she's the first banner. I didn't even watch the 2.1 stuff. Like, I didn't. Oh, she comes out in a week. Okay. I honestly don't know if she's first or second at this point. I'm sure someone in the comments is gonna tell me, even though I'm trying to look it up right now. But anyways, like, I'll probably throw some gems or some primos at her, and that's all fine and dandy. Why is this? Okay, I'm just gonna have to Google it. Where is the wiki? Current wishes. Upcoming wishes? Where's that at? Where's 2.1? Jesus Christ. Here we go. Yeah, so it looks like Raiden Shogun's first. So either way, like, I'll probably throw some primos there, but honestly, after I do that, I'm probably not going to be motivated enough to get primos. And in a gacha game, if you don't have in-game currency, then what's the point of really playing anymore? Because I'm not going to want to put in the time to, farm out all of the crap that I need. I've already looked at her materials. There's no sense in me trying. Honestly, there's no sense in me even trying to rush, because most of her materials I can't pre-farm. The ones that I can, it's whatever. I could, I guess, go ahead and grab them, but it doesn't make any sense to spend a lot of time trying to grab those materials when I'm just, gonna have to take like an extra week and a half just to farm out the bosses and stuff. It just doesn't make any sense. So anyways, that's kind of where I stand on Genshin. I mean, I know that this is gonna be kind of like a Debbie Downer type of video, so I'm sorry for that, and I hope that other people aren't in the same position that I am. I'm hoping that there's still a lot of people that enjoy doing what they're doing with Genshin, because like I said, I still love this game. I still love to play it. It's just that I am literally drowning in every way when it comes to making content, getting characters leveled up, and then what, at the end of the day, why do I level these characters up? Why did I get Ayaka to level 90? Why did I get Yoimiya to level 90? To make videos. That's the only reason that I'm doing it, because obviously there's nothing in game that I need them for. If I don't do Abyss, what's the point? I mean, I farm my weekly bosses every week, but at the end of the day, like, I have, half of my cast of characters can beat the bosses. I don't need to level up another character. I don't need to level up another new character that comes out. I don't need to worry about the freaking power creep. I don't need any of that stuff, because it's already here. It's already there. I can already do it. So at the end of the day, I feel like I'm just wasting my time. I am a hamster running on a hamster wheel, trying to create videos that, honestly, I feel like if you guys go back and look at some of my earlier character guides, how much fun I was having with them, how much I was enjoying them. And then if you look at the ones that I've made recently, I've tried to put a lot more effort into those videos, because when I was making character videos in the beginning, it was just one of those things where I was just having fun with it. And I wasn't trying to make them look good or sound good. I've been scripting a ton more of my videos. I've been scripting my character reviews, which is something that I've never done, because why would I need to really script it? Like, I had a format that I followed it in the beginning, but I never scripted it. Whereas these lately, like the Ayaka video, was 100% scripted. And I've tried to put way more effort in that sense, but at the end of the day, like, for what? If I'm not having as much fun with it anymore, then it feels like it's not worth it. And I know that that's going to sound extremely arrogant or narcissistic maybe, or just spoiled at the end of the day, but it's a struggle that I can't get over. So as of now, I'm gonna post this video, and then I'm probably not going to post anything else on the channel for a little while. If I do make any more videos, of course, it will be on this channel for Genshin. I thought long and hard about, changing the course of the channel, trying to reroute it. At this current time, I don't have any plans to do that. I want this channel to remain intact for what it is. And I mean, if you want to keep in touch with me, I've honestly stopped checking my YouTube comments for a while, because it's just, a lot of times it's just toxic, and I get overwhelmed, and it depresses me, and it's something that I don't find any joy in hearing people tell me that they completely disagree with me, or that the video was useless, or that I added nothing to the conversation, or whatever the situation is. So I don't check the comments a lot anymore, just because for mental health reasons. I gotta stay out of that. But if you want to talk to me and you want to like chit chat about Genshin, like I said, I'm going to continue playing on a casual level. 100% join the Discord. There's a lot of guys in there that enjoy playing, and we all like, just shoot the shit kind of. But it is what it is. So let me know if I'm alone in this situation. A couple of guys in the Discord, or a couple of the boys in the Discord, basically said that they understand where I'm coming from, and that it is just like the perpetual motion of Genshin. And I also don't want people to think that like, oh, well, this is a gacha game, bro. You should have knew when you signed up. Like, I know I've been playing gacha games for quite a while. I mean, I wouldn't consider myself an expert by any means, but I've played my fair share of gacha games, and I've been burned by my fair share of gacha games. So I know like the big premise. I know that the whole idea of a gacha game is to draw you in and make you spend money for characters. Like, that just is what it is. But I'm happy getting characters. Like, collecting characters is the entire reason that I play a gacha game, which is probably bad at the end of the day. That's probably like why I enjoy them so much, is because it's a collector's mentality. But I don't want people to think that like, oh, he's just mad because he fell for the gacha system. No, I promise you it's not that. But either way, this video has dragged on for a long time. So thank you guys if you made it this far. I appreciate everything that all the people that I've met, the community that isn't like a bunch of hard asses. I think that's a nice way of putting it at this point. Those people in the community that aren't hard asses, I adore. Like, I actually really adore chit-chatting with those types of people. But the people that are hard asses and want to like nitpick about just stupid things, It's driving me insane. So, anyways, thank you to everyone who has viewed a video of mine, even though you may not view this one. Thank you to the people that have kind of stuck with me for so long. And I will probably, like, I'm not going to stop making videos in general. I'm just going to take a break from making videos on Genshin. I've been working on stuff. It's D&D related, so I don't know how much crossover there is between my Genshin community and D&D, but I am working on some D&D style content that will go up on my original main channel, and I'm just gonna, just see where that goes and have fun with that, because like I said, I've been having tons of fun with D&D already, so kind of makes a lot of sense. But anyways, thank you, and see ya.